Hello everyone, Rare Model Reviews here, and I'm gonna say a pretty special unboxing. This isn't a P Bandai kit, actually is from the USA Gundam store, however it is not Gunpla, or at least not technically. So, you guys probably aren't gonna know what this is by looking at it until you notice what it says in the corner. So this is the Jetta. So this is based off, if I'm not mistaken, the Jetta, which is basically a prototype version of the Jesta that didn't, unfortunately, get mass produced because it was a little too, I guess you'd say premium, too high quality. So with this coming from the Gundam store, they usually come with these like stickers. They switch them around a lot, but they've been lately doing these SD stickers. So this is going to be the Psycho Zaku. I think I got a second one, so I might be able to put this thing up here too. And this is made by Evan Palmer, so shout out to him for this amazing concept. I actually got the Deep Strike up there. I never got around to sticking it. I gotta wipe this thing down and stick both of those guys on this. So this was packed by Roma, so shout out to him. And I already said this in my last unboxing. I'm not gonna go over this again. I went over this same insert like 20 times, but let's get into the Jetta. So when I was saying this isn't technically Gunpla, because this is actually from a, I guess you say a third-party company, probably Chinese. So this one's actually a bit better than most of them. This one, at least, oh, also want to point out, it says Jetta right here. Obviously, they put it as Jetta there just so Bandai can say, hey, Jetta, that's ours. But it still looks exactly like the Jetta, so honestly, they could probably still sue them and get them to cease and desist if they wanted to. So straight off the back, I noticed these blue beam sabers. Looks very cool. There's also some other effects here. This looks like this is a clear blue beam saber, so I'm curious to see how that's gonna work. Am I gonna have this guy holding a clear blue beam saber with the like effect part clear? Like what's going on there? Has some moss green there, some grays. Looks like for the backpack and the inner frame. Some more green here for the shield, it looks like. A little bit of the leg. Let's see the parts for the hands on the back here. So this thing, that's like has bracket hands. Looks like it's got actual fixed hands. And I have no idea what this is. I'm going to assume this is for some sort of stand. So I can't wait to see what the heck this is. It's funny, I heard something rattling around in here in the box. I'm glad it was that and not the runners that broke off or something. That's always one thing I'm concerned about third-party stuff. A lot of these things, the runners fall off a lot. People report missing parts, so I do not want to deal with that, especially since I kind of got this thing a month or two ago. I'm only just not getting around to reviewing it, so I don't want to find out if it was a little too late when it comes to reporting issues. So we got some reds here. I think these are for like missiles in the cockpit and whatnot. Oh, that sucks. This is the crouch piece, so it looks like there's not going to have a yellow piece. For that, I'm probably going to have to paint that, or maybe there's a sticker to put over it. Both are L's in my opinion. We got some the sky blue, I guess you cross, almost like a bluish grayish. More greens there. I don't know why I was expecting this thing to not have any green or anything like it, but now that I think about it, I guess the Jagan is kind of like that greenish turquoise color, so it makes sense for them to have a similar color palette as the Jesta and the Jetta, or should I say Jetta, are both part of the Jagan family. You know, the offshoot of these Jagan. So these are more gray parts with inner frame, which is amazing. And then the remaining green parts. See, this one looks a bit more turquoise. The other stuff looked like straight up green, though, like a moss green, kind of like what the Kishashira is. But one thing I also want to point out is there are two versions of this thing. There's the normal mass-produced version, and there's also an Amare version, which looks a little different. I personally like this version better, hence why I got it. Plus, I think the Amare one is out of stock anyway. And then we also have this, that's what actually says Amare here. So this is like leftover from the Amare version, I'm going to assume. So I think that one came out before too. But this thing looks like it has some sort of stand. I don't know whether this thing lights up or moves or what. So I guess I'll find that out. It's a little screw here, of course, to mount this onto it. I'm gonna assume it's a part probably in a backpack to put this thing on. And if I'm not mistaken, it looks like this thing comes with little tiny batteries for this as well. So I can't wait to build this thing to see what exactly is the purpose of the stand. But looks like we are done here. I got so much crap line. I'm just gonna throw it over to the side. I'll package it up later. This isn't as complex as I was expecting it to be, so maybe I just might end up turning this to an actual unboxing instead of just unboxing for this thing. We'll see how fast I get through this manual. This manual is actually pretty thick. So one thing I hate about a lot of this third-party stuff is it looks a lot like the Gquux manuals. And Gquux is like Bandai's #1 competitor, but honestly, I like Bandai stuff better because just the menus alone is really what makes me like Bandai more. Because Gquux stuff looks like it's straight from the 90s. They've never updated their menus. They still look like this. It's like very unclear looking images. It's very easy to make mistakes, especially this being a third-party kit. These are notorious for the instructions being a little complicated, if not lazy and confusing. And even worse, some of the stuff is wrong. They'll say, like, for example here, H5, but it'll actually be like F5 or something. And you happen to get the H5 looking like the F5. Now you're forcing it apart that looks like it should go in there but doesn't, and that's how things end up breaking or something messes up, and now you got to go back pages later to go fix it, and that could just be a disaster. So you have to really be on your A game with a third-party kit, and I would not recommend this for a beginner, even if this looked pretty easy to you, whether you're a first-time Gundam builder or you've gotten a few under your belt. If you're going to tackle a third-party kit, you always, again, want to be on your A game. Take it nice and slow. Make sure you're doing everything just right. Because, again, you mess something up on these third-party kits, especially with the plastic not being as high quality as Bandai's. Like, yeah. I feel like I'm talking myself out of wanting to build this thing now, but I've built a few third-party kits at this point. Most of them were just little simple stuff, but I'm confident I'll be able to get this thing down. And, geesh. I'm not gonna lie, there's some more third-party kits I have that are a bit more enticing to build. So this is gonna probably be on the bottom of the list, but nonetheless, eventually I'm gonna get down to building this thing. I've said it in the past, I'll say it again. If anyone really wants to see it, you don't see anything on YouTube, like any reviews of this thing, it's up to me. You better say something, otherwise you never know when I'll finally get around to building this thing. I can already say I got the high grade Elysius on my desk right now. As soon as I'm done building this thing, grabbing a bite to eat, because I need some fuel, you know, to get a project like that done. You know, I'm getting to work because that thing has got so many runners. I can't even put them all on my desk. I had to like put half of the other runners like on a table, so that's gonna be annoying. I have to walk and grab those runners when I need them. But this also is a very nice 3D sheet here. This is one thing that trumped Bandai on. Bandai does not do like little 3D images of the stuff here. But that's gonna be it for the Jetta. So I've got some time left. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect to have this much time left. So I'm gonna throw in just a high grade, just something small, so I can bang that out and get this under 15 minutes. So give me a second to put this away and grab that kit. All right, and I'm back. So you're just gonna immediately cut to me spoiling whatever the heck this is. There's no mystery here. It's the Sugai's Gquux from Gquux. So I'm not sure if Sugai was a character from Legends or anything. I don't remember any Sugais, but regardless, I thought she was a very cool character, and I love Federation aces that's thrown into stuff, especially with Gquux, because Gquux is when the Xeons won. So I really enjoyed this kit. I did not expect this thing to appear the way it did, so I thought it was very cool. The it says Gquux outfitted with this grappling. If I'm not mistaken, Sugai piloted the light type gun cannon in the meta of the series. So it actually would have been cool if they made a light type gun cannon with a little grappling hook. It's a little confusing because the Gquux literally look like gems, because in Gquux, of course, the whatchamacallit, the Gquux were instead based off of the white and red Gundam that, of course, Char stole and made his own. So I thought that was very interesting, especially as the Gquux was always the answer to Federation's mass-produced mobile suits. So it's a little ironic that the Gquux ends up just basically being a gem. So you can even see the wire for the grappling hook, and it's a lot thinner than I thought it'd be. Got some whites, reds, and yellows. Very vivid color scheme. It's literally the gems color scheme. Now this is Sugai's Gquux, so that's why it looks more like the gems. Obviously, she had a custom painted to look like a gem, or should I say a light type gun cannon, and the Gquux. Looks like this is going to be green parts for it. I'm guessing the visor, I'm not sure. I know there's a P Bandai version of the Gquux, which actually is this thing in its standard colors, you know, the gray and green. Now, this thing, interestingly enough, is not using the real grade style beam saber. It's actually using the old school high grade beam sabers, but it's painted this fluorescent pink color. I can't quite. There we go. I see. If you guys can make that out, it'll special rare. You should be able to see that. Yeah, 2005. So these are the original style beam sabers. So if any of you never built anything older, you only built the modern stuff. This is how the original high grade beam sabers looked. If they weren't the piece of crap ones that I always will rag on, which were like, they came in different stuff. It'd be like one that's like molded in, like, let's say white plastic. It'd be like the hand and the beam saber all in one piece. You just put into a hole in their hand or whatever, the peg, whatever you want to call it. Then there'll be one that's like in clear. It's just, sometimes it'll be like a solid plastic piece that you'd still be able to put in your hand, but it wasn't clear like this, like, you know. I think the first kit, ironically, that might have did it was the Gundam, of course, the RX-78. I want to say that was the first one that did the style of beam saber we see today, where it's actually a beam saber that you put the plastic piece in. But moving on, I already talked over this. If you're a fan of Gunpla, you might want to visit this site here. You can do a lot of cool stuff, talk with other modelers in the community. We, of course, have the the very brief history of this suit and whatnot. Usually at least show the story and all that with it as well. I'm going to assume this is probably an earlier kit in the Gquux series or something, because the other ones I've looked at all had a lot more detailed information on this thing. But moving on, it still does what a lot of these newer high grade series do, where they give you the first 3 pages in color and then the rest is in black and white as per standard. But again, just look at the way this menu is laid out compared to that Jetta we were looking at earlier. This is what I was talking about here. I feel like if I were to just now start building Gunpla in modern times here, I'd be able to build this thing with confidence. I even have a little page here before this showing me how to properly cut things out. Like, I feel very confident in building this thing. I probably get a little less confident when things got to black and white. I'd be a little confused, like, how come it's not in color anymore? But, you know, I'd still be able to truck on through. That Jetta, I could not build that my first time. I'd freak out and crap myself and probably give up before I even start building anything. So this is just, again, what I was talking about when I said Bandai's manuals alone, just a lot more high quality. They, of course, are recommended you put this thing on Action Base 7. And I glazed over it earlier, but I'm pretty sure this is a 2025 kit. I'll look at that again after I'm done with this menu to make sure. But weapons here, looks like it comes with 2 of the beam spray guns, I'm guessing these are. 2 beam sabers, of course, and then the grapple that you'll be able to put in the arm. Now, one thing I can say, I know from the P Bandai version of the Gquux, if you didn't like Sugai's color, you want a Gquux to look like a Gquux, even though it's basically a gem. I believe the P Bandai one literally is just a recolor of this to the point it even still has the grappling hook, which I get. It'd be a little weird for it to take away something, but technically it shouldn't have that. No, I didn't realize this thing had a beam naginata. If I'm not mistaken, it looks like this thing has 2 of them combined. Oh yeah, it's even saying you can attach it at both ends. Huh, pretty cool. So I don't know if it's you can connect the beam sabers or if somehow you could put them both in the same hand or not. But yep, as I thought, 2025 is when this thing came out. But that is going to do it. We are reaching my quota here perfectly. By the time I'm done yapping, this video should be under 15 minutes. So, of course, thank you guys all so much for watching. I'm probably going to move this thing up to one of the top of my list of high grades I'm going to build, because I think the Gquux is pretty cool. And I really hated seeing what happened to Sugai. I was a little disappointed the way her arc ended, but I mean, I doubt we're gonna get any sequel to Gquux, so it is what it is. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I've got one more third-party unboxing I'm gonna do probably tomorrow, And then we're going to get onto some of the stuff I really want to review, literally, because I honestly really want to build it. So I can't wait to show you guys what that kit is. I'm going to give you a hint in the Dom family. So let's see if you can guess what that kit's going to be, because it's not the actual Dom itself. I already did that. But again, thank you guys all so much for watching. You know who it is. If you enjoyed this, you know what to do. And I'll see you in the next video, unboxing or review.